is a spirit talk communication therapy with your guides that are trying to help you understand how things work in heaven and work here in other realms as well. A lot of you don't understand who I am or how I know all this stuff. It's because I remember I had the veil lifted in 2009. I had a really bad car accident. I was an internal investigator in Orlando. I arrested people for a living. I do kind of miss it sometimes, but it was a very negative, grumpy position to have. You couldn't trust anybody. So, total difference from what I do now. Anyway, I was pulling out of a gas station. I had just gotten gas and donuts, which I have not lived down. And when I got hit, all the donuts, like, went all through the car. So, I'm pulling out, and I got T-boned right through my driver door. I got pushed a couple, I think they said 1.5 miles down the road, or a mile down I can't remember. He was going really fast. And I pushed my car like down the road, and he rammed me. He didn't care. There was a truck in front of him that was trying to pull into the gas station, and he went around the truck at 60, 70 miles per hour, and I was pulling out and didn't see him coming around to the truck, and he just rammed me. And the best way I can describe it is I was sitting in my car, and I got yanked out of my head and dropped in heaven. Okay? That's why I know heaven isn't up and it's not down. I literally just went to the next room. And I was in that room, well, I was in that area, that dimension, and it was like a milky white film around it, where the area I was in, and I can see everything that was going on. I could see the road, I could see the cars, I could see the ambulance showing up, this kind of thing, okay? However, when I turn back, I'm in heaven. And it looks like a classroom. And best way I can describe it is day and night kind of mixed. I saw all these stars out before me, and I know somebody was standing next to me. I don't know who at the time it was, communicating. And when I would ask something, the answer would always, it was almost like it was being downloaded. It already came to me. Like I didn't even have to finish my sentence, and I'm like, oh. Because it's all knowing there. However, I didn't go past a certain threshold where I was all knowing again, so I was asking questions. What I was in, the classroom, was actually my classroom. They kept referring to me as the teacher of the masses. And it was my understanding that certain souls would come to me for a specific lecture or teaching. They don't call them classrooms or courses or anything. They call them lectures. There's a lot of them. There's all kinds of them going on, actually. It was my understanding. Did you ever watch Harry Potter? Basically, I was teaching the gifted to live among the muggles. How to help without being hurt or condemned for what you're doing. I was pushing myself in physical therapy, and to the point where I actually was pushing myself too hard, and I was setting myself back, okay? And my guides put me in another accident a week to the day. I got a new car, and a week to the day I got rear-ended, set my injuries back, again, way back. And no doctor would sign me off to work with the Orlando PD, which is what I was trying to do. I was going through the process of becoming a cop with them. And this kid was late for school down the road, University of Florida, I believe it was. With the medium or communication gift I have, I was under the impression that God does not let his people suffer. He does not just rip somebody out of your life and go, okay, good luck with that. Oh, you're crying? Oh, okay, sorry. Your luck. He doesn't do that. He sends people like Moses, people like Elijah, people like Jesus, people that have the gifts to communicate and show these miraculous communication tools to help his people. So when you have a religious fanatic saying, oh, you're the devil, you're going to hell, Well, then you might want to read your Bible. Don't go to church and let a preacher or a priest tell you everything. Go look it up for yourself. I was a youth leader. I'm a Bible historian, actually. I study all this stuff. I have to have factual stuff. It's just me, okay? And Matthew 17 actually jumped out at me. And I was like, holy crap, Jesus, I remember him doing this. He was a medium. Well, modern time medium, which he would have, could be considered as a visionary or communicator. He called forth two people, Elijah and Moses. And if you read the Bible history teaches us 500 to 1500 BC, Jesus called forth two spirit, people that have passed before him. If that's not a medium, I don't know what it is. Okay? And then I get the backlash, well, he's God, he can do whatever he wants. Okay, well, if that's the fact, in the New Testament, and I'm backing the Matthew 17 up, he's taught us with his healing and his helping people go out and do as I did. He plainly said that. Go out and do as I did. That's simply what the lighted ones are doing. Now remember, not everybody has this gift. I was shown that there was only a few of us that were here. Okay? John Edwards. Yes. If you have to do a group in an auditorium, you're there for money. You're there for your ego. If you're doing them in a small group, in a little tiny set, then you're not there for money. You're there to help. I've always had my gifts. So when somebody says, oh, did you just become a medium after that? No, I've always been like that. That's why I help children. My backyard was a graveyard. And it was 3 times worse for me. But I think that was the reason why it was supposed to happen that way, so that I could help kids understand what it was like. I'm the only communicator that can talk to ICU patients. My producers had researched this, and they had found that I was the only one that can communicate with an ICU patient and actually help with that healing between families before they either they come out of it or they have to let that person go to death. I work with galactic beings, and I can actually use galactic symbols to help somebody's life. Again, a gift that's specific to me. And I hate the word medium. I hate the word psychic, guys. It's not what they call us there. They call us communicators. We have a specific job that we come here to do. I have a whole team of people that help me with these things. I try to get to everybody. I don't want to be one of those people that are indispensable. You can't get a hold of them. You can't talk to them. Eventually, you will eventually get to talk to me somehow. I don't want to be out of reach to people. That's not what I'm about. I have over 500,000 followers, but I try to get to everybody as needed. I mean, if I can reach just one person with the live feed, then I've done my job. When you come to me for a reading, you're getting proof that your loved one is there. I don't know anything about your family. I don't know anything about your life. So you're gonna see the proof within the reading by the things I'm getting. If you go to a medium, you should not be talking more than that. Just emails of novels, people telling me about their loved ones or about their life. I can't help you after that. You're giving me everything, and I can't help you with that. Refrain from doing that when you want to get a reading. Just, hey, I would like this reading, and my people will schedule you in, okay? Refrain from telling us stuff. Check the website out, navigate it. If you're being pulled to do a session, research it with your guides. Read testimonials. If there's a testimonial on my website and there's somebody's name and their face from their Facebook profile, you can contact them. Don't be afraid to contact them. They will tell you how their reading was, okay? We ask permission to put their testimonial up on the website, so it's okay to ask them how it went on Facebook, okay? I tell people to do this. So, research before you do the session. Make sure it's right for you before you come and do it. I use Jesus's method of analogy so that you guys can better understand, and that's exactly how he kind of tried to do everything, is try to break it down so the brain and the mind can work off each other because you're only working at a certain capacity or a certain percentage of understanding here. So you kind of have to break up the overwhelming knowledge that you could be obtaining so you could better understand it. This is going to be so much fun talking about this stuff. Anything you guys want to know spiritually, I can help with that. You found the live feed for a reason. What I'm trying to do is educate you guys, okay? How to better your life, so benefiting your life by getting you answers. We have a YouTube page that has all the live feeds on it where you can learn. It's the Divine Medium. You can easily find me under the videos tab on my personal page, the Christina K C-A-Y Watts W-A-T-T-S. Your loved ones are literally a hop and a skip to the next room. It's not up, it's not down. Heaven is like literally merging. This is earth and this is heaven. We are blending with them. That's why if you just suddenly get a chill up your body, you walked through one, a spirit, or they walked through you. If you're thinking of your loved one, and this is real big, they call it a spiritual invite. Okay. How many times you're thinking of your loved one? It's actually you not doing that, it's them. Their energy, okay, comes out and it's like, and it comes out of them like this, like it's like a pulsating energy, okay, but it comes out from them, okay, and they can affect the lights. They can make the wall and the wall crack. It almost sounds like a knock, or the floor cracks, and that's because their energy is coming into the wall and expanding the wood or expanding the capacity between the walls or the floors. That's what their energy is doing, so it comes off like a creak or a knock or a crack in the wall. Okay? I tell people is their way of showing you, I'm right here in the room. If you hear the crack, that's me. If your phone freezes or the lights flicker or your wind chimes are shaking and it's not windy out, like things like that, it's them pushing that energy out that affects it. And they're just saying, by placing their image or their name in your mind, they're saying, don't freak out, it's me. It's the same thing if you see a penny, a feather, a cardinal, your keys get moved and you can't find them, and somebody from your life that passed away pops in your mind. It's that person doing that to you. You see a cardinal, you think of your mom. That's your mom showing you. That's me showing it to you, okay? Your loved ones are around you more than you think. Every time you think of them, it's them doing it. They're saying, I'm in the car messing with the radio. If you hear a song suddenly, and it suddenly reminds you of mom, it's your mom manipulating the radio so that she can show you words in a song or a specific song that she likes. If you don't feel your loved one, like suddenly felt them and then suddenly you don't feel them anymore, that's because they're pushing back their energy. So it's coming closer to them and you're not aware of them being around. They never left. They just push their energy back so that you're not aware that they're there as much. And they do that because they don't want you hanging on to them so much. They understand that you have to get done here. That you have a mission to get done here, but they're saying, I never left. You just can't feel me as much because I need you to understand that I'm here, but I can't help you with everything in your life. Because you start to kind of depend on that energy of them being around all the time, and they want you to understand that you have a life that you have to understand. Like, you have to make those decisions. I had about 3 females come to me this week with readings, and they kept asking me, why do I keep why do I keep dating these idiots? Like, they always do something mean to me. Okay, this is kind of how it is. Think of like somebody that's a drug dealer that does drugs, okay? And he's walking down the street and he's pushing out this energy, okay? And he's walking and pushing out this energy of like, don't come near me, blah, blah. And you can just sense it. You don't even have to meet him. You just sense it. And this is with a lot of people that you come across. Like, you just, maybe you're in Walmart and you just get this like sense of like, I gotta get away from this person. There's something going on there. It's the same thing. This person is pushing out an energy. And until he gets off of drugs and sees things, his world differently, he's changing, he's bringing in more positive thoughts, he's, doing better things for his health, he's going to change his push out energy to something more loving, and people are going to be more navigated to stay on the same sidewalk as him rather than going on the other side of the sidewalk, okay? So this is what I'm talking about, pushing out energy, a push out energy. Another thing is, I've been getting a lot of people coming into the shop asking for things for night terrors or nightmares. And one in particular, a mother that her son was doing real bad with this. I'm not kidding. A selenite tower next to your bed is going to get rid of this. And actually the mother came back in the next day and said that it was the first night he slept through the night. And I even gave her a free calming oil that we had at the shop, and she ended up putting that on him while he was sleeping, and it kept him asleep for the rest of the night as well. Actually, this is a good example of one. It lights up, okay? They light up like night lights. Another large one that lights up. Anyone that is having anxiety, I would suggest doing a goldstone. I had a few people buy goldstone this week. It looks like this. See how it lights up. Okay, so that's a goldstone, and I'm not kidding. I have it everywhere. I keep one in my boob. It's my booby crystal, I call it. I have one in my bedroom, in my car, a ton around my office, because I have to have, when your loved ones come around me, my equilibrium pops off and I get extremely dizzy and want to run from the room. So I have to have it near me at all times. And I've had several women that came into the shop for a reading grab them. And while you're in the reading, if you come into my reading anxious, I will hand you a goldstone. And I always ask, how are you? After about 10, 15 minutes, I always ask the person how you feel, and they'll go, oh, good, better, better. And I'll go, it's the crystal you're holding. Okay? And I'll explain more how this all works. You guys have to understand, if, say, for example, you passed away, and I use this analogy with my younger students so they can better understand how this works. If you passed away and your family was just kind of like sitting at the coffee table or the kitchen table, and they're discussing things, and you're trying to get in the conversation and talk with them, and nobody's talking to you, wouldn't that be really, really sad? It would be really sad. And that's how some of these souls feel when they're around you. They still want to communicate with you and be involved in your life, and they don't want to be left out. Honestly, guys, you will get to know your loved ones better now that they passed than you did while they were alive, when they were busy doing stuff and you weren't really around them. Now they're literally right next to you. This is how it works. This is earth and this is heaven. We are blending. Heaven is not up, it is not down, it is a hop and a skip to the next room. That is how close they are, and that's why you feel them so much. How you're thinking is important. You're creating everything by the way you are thinking. The brain is with the body, the mind is with the soul. Listen, when you come here, okay, this is your soul. When you come here, you put on a costume, okay? Once your life is done here, every ailment, everything that you, everything that hurt or came along with the body stays with the body. Earth created your body, okay? Well, God created your body on earth. And when it's done, the body stays here, and nothing attached to it comes with you, okay? So your loved ones aren't hurting in heaven. They're not continuing to hurt or feel any of those things. They are a lighted being, an energy source that's still learning in a different avenue now. I see us here on earth as like we're on vacation or we're on a job site that we have to get done, and when we're done, we'll go back home. Okay, this is seriously only temporary. The reason we're repeating numbers, seeing numbers, is your guides are trying to give you messages through the numbers, because you're not gonna, if you don't understand that the small voice in your head is them, that if they would use their voice, you'd think you're going schizophrenic, so they have to use your voice. Until you understand that you're communicating not with yourself but with them, then you're going to not have to rely on the number repeating all the time. There is a guided meditation on the Divine Medium page under the Courses tab that I literally will walk you right to your guides, and you will get to see what they look like and understand what their name is and how their energy works for you. If you have a loved one that is around you, well, your loved ones are always around you. They never left. The body let go and left, okay? The soul did not. The soul is very free to be right next to you. If we were made in God's image, not his physical image, but his soul image, his light energy being, and he can be everywhere, so can we as souls, okay? So your loved one can be with you, and your mother over here, or your sisters over here, and so on and so forth, okay? So your loved one didn't leave. So if you're walking around and you're hoping that they do this, or you're wishing that you would feel them, blah, 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 you're actually blocking them. They want, how energy works is when you let go and just relax and just let things happen instead of trying to control it, it's just gonna happen. Okay, I'll give you an example. I worked with a female for about 3 months, and all she wanted to do was talk to her mom, and it felt forced, like she was trying to force it. And after about 3 months of doing the pendulum is an open communication tool. And once it opens up and you kind of are understanding to listen for it, you won't need this anymore. It will just be second nature. You'll just, oh, okay, I know that wasn't my answer. I know that was somebody else telling me that. Okay, this is how this works. You don't want to move this hand, so I'm going to kind of keep it in visual. And you're going to see it go in a circle. And that's me asking, show me yes. And then it's going to go into a straight line. And that's, sometimes you'll see them pulling it. All right. So in a straight line, that's my no. Everybody's answer is going to be different. So if you have a pendulum and you ask it yes or no, it's going to be a different answer for you, okay? So my no is a straight line, and my yes, please show them, is a circle, okay? All right. So this is an open communication tool. We have them on the website under the shop tab. To communicate with your guides, your loved ones, or angels. Sometimes angels don't really talk through these, but sometimes they do. It just depends on the person. If you have a close connection to angels, they'll most likely talk to you more. You can talk to your fairies, you can talk to your mermaid family that you're connected to, alien, whatever alien race that you originally signify with. Mine's Kalinian, which is where I'm from. If you're being drawn to fairies, there's a reason why. It's because you were at some point either worked with them or was one of them. Same thing with mermaid, same thing with elf. These ideas don't just pop up. They're there because our subconscious remembers being there. So we're creating it here because we miss them, okay? We miss that type of life, or we miss that family. Your soul contract, the contract you came here with, is literally mapped out on your hands, okay? What you could have been doing as opposed to what you are doing, okay? So this is my right hand, okay? On your right hand, if you would take a photocopy or take a picture with your phone, and then 3 months later, did it again, these lines, I guarantee, will change based off the daily decisions you're making. This is why no one should be kind of going to a psychic. I actually have psychics coming to me saying, I feel like I'm not supposed to be telling people. I feel like I'm supposed to be guiding them. That's exactly right, because your guides are never going to tell you what to do. They are going to guide you and give you options, because you're the one ultimately learning from what you're experiencing. What basically a psychic is doing, and it's more intuitive, they're just grabbing things from your soul contract that they're seeing. They don't understand where in time it's supposed to be. So something that's on your divine timeline that you're supposed to be experiencing, maybe they told you something that was supposed to be 5 years from now, and since they implanted it, they moved it up to 2. Past lives, you don't have to go forward in time. You have the option to jump around and go into different times. If you're drawn to a specific time frame, like maybe you're really drawn to the 60s, that just means that you had a good time in that era, and you're bringing it into this one. And maybe you have a phobia that you just don't know where you got it from. You're just so scared of heights. Nothing ever happened to you to make you scared of heights. That's you pulling that in from a past life. Remember, where you want to learn is how you're going to learn. So if you want to go to a different realm, all you do is put on the costume. If you want to be an animal, putting on the costume. If you want to be a plant, putting on the costume. I've talked to souls that remember merging with stars and learning what it was like to be a star. It is all in how your soul wants to learn, and that is how you're going to live that out. You have to understand that God gives you every opportunity to learn as much as you want, at great capacities. Nothing's impossible with Him, okay? But past lives is amazing, and when I passed away in 2009, I got to go through what's called a life review, and everything's happening at once. You're feeling everything. You feel everything that you've done to other people, okay? So if you were loving, you're going to feel that. If you were not so nice, you're going to feel that. And the reason is, you will literally be put in their shoes, as if you get to feel the effects of what you did to that person as you are doing it to yourself. If you got old memories from your loved ones after they passed, that's because your soul, now remember, your soul can break up into little particles, okay? It can be everywhere all at once, even while you're here on Earth. It doesn't subject itself just because it's here on Earth, okay? Your soul is actually standing there with a loved one, reviewing a memory from the past life that this person is reviewing. Okay? I had actually had 2 sisters that came into my reading and had asked me, why do we keep getting memories of our mom at the same time? It happens all the time. And I said to them, that's because your soul is in heaven reviewing the life review with your mom, and you were both in that memory, so you're going to simultaneously get that memory at the same time. And it's not God judging you, it's you judging yourself based off the feelings you get back, because you will get to feel what you did to yourself by switching roles. So with the life review, you not only get to see what you did here on Earth, but all the different things you could have done while you're on Earth. And that's where you get your excitement of like, oh man, I could have did that. I held myself back. Oh, I could have, left that guy and went off and did that, but I stayed and dealt with it. Listen, there's no mistakes and there's no failures. You are simply here learning, okay? You volunteered to come here. Don't waste your time. Don't sit and watch TV all the time. Find out things. Explore. Don't hold yourself back and stay in your house. If you're getting invited to an event, there's a reason why. It's in your soul contract to go to that event. No idea, no option is going to pop in your mind if it's not supposed to be there. Your guides are showing you all the different options, all the different ideas that are in your soul contract, in divine timing, as you asked for it. So if something pops up like you are getting a jolt to move, or change a job, or leave a relationship that's going nowhere, your guides are saying, okay, you asked for this in divine timing. We're putting it in your mind so you can think about it, but it's up to you ultimately, because you're the one learning. Say, for example, you have an idea that just keeps popping up, and it just keeps popping up, okay? So say, for example, you're in a relationship, and you keep having this idea that you need to leave, okay? But it pops up every so often. So things are good, and now you don't think about it. And then things get bad, and it pops up again. This is your guide saying, you asked for this in divine timing. If you don't take it, we'll pop it up in another 3 weeks, because you asked for us to do that. You said, if I don't leave, pop it up again in another 3 weeks, or, the next time you feel is good for me to know I have to leave. They won't put something in your mind unless it's meant to be there to learn from or somehow work out for you, okay? You're the only one holding yourself back. You walk in a room and you feel something negative. If you don't ask for help or have them intervene on your behalf, that energy is still going to be there, okay? You have to do something to change it, okay? You have to change it. So you push out a positive energy, like, this room is cleansed and this room's purified and nothing negative can be in here. And say, for example, you call in Michael, who's the angel of dark energy or negative energy, and you call him in to stand guard. You will feel within 10 minutes or 15 minutes that energy will just dissipate. If you don't act upon yourself, nothing's going to get done. Okay, all I can do is give you guys these messages. That's it. I can't do much more. It's really up to you on how you take the live feed. Basically, your guides, and it makes me want to cry. I'm trying to hold it back. They just want so much positivity for you guys. They want you to benefit from how they can help you. If you get to meet them in the meditation that I provide on the website, and you understand that they hear you, you're not talking alone to yourself, that they're talking back to you, and you understand that this is like a friend next to you, just helping you every day. And I mean, I even suggest with the meditation is journaling. Journal your journey. your spirit journey with the meditation, because each time you go back, you're going to learn something new or something different about yourself or about them. Don't get hung up on the meditation like, oh, I probably just made that up in my mind. No. The reason I did this meditation was to try to show you guys that no one should be implanting anything in your mind about your spirit guides. Like, they shouldn't be telling you it's a female. They shouldn't be telling you names. They shouldn't be telling you it's American Indian. The reason I did the meditation was to show you guys that when you do the meditation, you will physically know you're the one getting it and nobody's implanting it. I'm simply taking you on a path to go meet them. Everything else is them putting all that stuff in your mind to show you visually how this all works and who they are to you. Don't let people implant things in your mind. Watch how carefully you read things, or, before you go read an article, maybe step back and go, okay, should I be reading this article? Is this good for me to implant into my mind? Because everything that you read, see, hear is going to affect your life somehow. So it's almost like standing back, even with my live feeds. Maybe these messages aren't right for you yet, okay? So it's standing back and going, okay, should I listen to her? Is my guides showing me that they bring me here for a specific reason, and then I hear the reason and I get out? Or do I listen to the whole thing? It's really honing in and listening to your guides on what they need you to listen, hear, and see. Your guides, this is how they work. Or don't go through the yellow light, wait for the red light to hit. Because they're trying to show you if you go through the yellow light, something might happen. Okay, say you're stuck behind a car and, oh my God, you're getting frustrated, you're late for work, da-da-da, you're getting mad. Your guides put that person in front of you for a reason. You're supposed to go slow that day. Even if it means you gotta call in and say, hey, I'm stuck behind this truck, I can't get around. Just go with it. Don't get frustrated. Just remember in your mind, okay, you're doing this for a reason. You better have a good reason because you're making me late. Okay? You can talk to them like that. They don't mind. Okay? My Galactic Ones, the ones that know that they're not from here, that simply volunteered in the second wave, volunteers, and the third wave, even volunteers, you would simply just join the Galactic Ones, and that's a page for my Galactic students who are learning about who they are here. Most Galactic Ones will have the same MO. Here's a couple things that you do. You will burrow. This means, I'm going to use Rena's scarf. Burrow means you have the blanket over you, and you will only have like this out. Your feet are always cold. Your hands are always hot or warm. You tend to not like grainy or hard foods next to soft foods. So it's kind of like maybe eating pudding with crackers or eating a pear even. Anything that has grainy with soft, it just doesn't agree with you. You maybe had a visitation in a dream. That really happens. If you're outside and you're looking up at space, okay, not during daytime, at nighttime, and you're drawn to one specific spot. Maybe it's the moon. Maybe it's the Big Dipper. Maybe it's Orion's belt. There's a reason for that. You're being pulled towards your home, your solar system. It might not necessarily be Orion's belt or the moon, but like my race is literally behind the moon. So it's 200 million light years behind the moon. So if you would skyrocket and just shoot back behind there, that's where I'm from. No matter where you are, you just feel alone, or you feel out of place, or you feel like the black sheep. You might have the best family, but you just feel not so like you fit in. You could be in your own home and still feel out of place, like you don't belong here. You feel like time's rushing, time's hurrying up. Little minor things that you're going to endure and understand from. Remember, nothing comes in your life unless you asked it to be there and you wanted to learn from it, okay? So simply just take some grace, take some time, stay positive, and when it comes to you, don't react like you normally would, like maybe with anger or frustration. Kind of sit back and go, how can I positively understand from this? So say, for example, maybe you're in a bad relationship, it breaks up, but you miss him. Start journaling. Maybe write it out. Write your feelings out. Understand, what was I supposed to learn from this? Why did it happen? Why did it not work out? And maybe I wasn't supposed to be with him. Maybe that was a stepping stone to get me to who I was really meant to be with. Maybe I was supposed to blossom somehow. Understand that your growth, your inner growth, is there to make you so much better. If God gave you $500 and he said, okay, now give it back. And you start arguing with him. Why would I give it back? Like, I could pay so many bills with this. Like, I want to keep it. Can I keep it? Can I keep it? Can I keep it? All right, so you argue with him. He goes, just trust me, hand it back. So you give it back to him, and he hands you $100,000. Do you see where I'm going with this? He will help you remove anything you're not learning from anymore, whether it's a job, whether it's your parents, whether it's your relationships, friendships. If it's disputing and it's getting hostile and it's being removed because they're trying to pull in positive, more beneficial things for you. So just let it happen. Take some grace, take some positivity, and take some time for yourself. Don't jump from relationship to relationship. If somebody's to come in your life, they're meant to be there, but it doesn't necessarily mean you got to take it full force. Maybe you're just meant to sit back and see what they're supposed to teach you, or maybe what you're supposed to teach them. Your guides are there supporting you, but think of it this way. What if your guides need to learn something from you? Maybe this is an experience that they wanted to learn from. Maybe they were sitting back going, I never thought of that situation she just went through like that. You know, I got to give her credit. She really pulled through on that one. Like, your guides are sitting back learning from you. Get some coarse sea salt, okay? I sell blended sea salt baths at my shop. However, I'm giving you a free option. You just want to cleanse yourself and purify yourself and just feel amazing. You want to go to your grocery store, get coarse sea salt, not table salt, sea salt. Okay. You want to stick it in a tub or a basin, okay, for your feet if you don't have a tub. Some people don't have tubs. And you want to pour some of that sea salt in, maybe half the container, okay? If you want to go full force and like have a aha moment, I would do the whole thing. And then you're going to want to put in a yellow aventurine. It's very sunny yellow. I like a light sunny yellow. A rose quartz. And let's do an angelite, okay? Maybe some of these crystals. An amethyst even, okay? A sunstone, citrine, okay? If you're having communication issues and you do the sea salt and maybe you have a big meeting the next day and you have to talk in front of a lot of people, I would do a gold stone with any blue chakra crystal, which is blue, okay? Blue chakra crystal. So fluorite would be good for focus for the next day at your meeting to keep you focused. And maybe a sodalite or a lapis lazuli sodalite with your goldstone will open that communication up for your next day. It is cleansing all those impurities that you are absorbing. So remember, everything comes in and out of the foot. Okay, so if you would wear socks and you didn't walk around with them, you just got into bed, put them on, and then woke up the next morning, you're going to see a lot of dirt on your sock because everything during the night is trying to exude and get out of your system. So it's going onto the sock. I just do a little basin and I put the salt in there. I don't have to do the whole half canister. I just sprinkle some in there. And maybe I'll put some rosemary in there. Maybe some drops of like a balancing oil or lavender. I put a little lavender essential oil in there. And I will do either like quartz, my quartz pyramid, or I'll put black. I most likely do a lot of black tourmaline in my baths, okay? In my foot baths. Remember, everything comes in and out of the foot. Black tourmaline dispels anything negative. The crystals that we sell on the website under the shop tab, you are not getting little dinky crystals. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is a little crystal. When you buy crystals from my shop, they are hand chosen by me, and they are not little. They are big. Okay, so let me do this against the wall here. Okay, see the little one? This is a big one you can actually hold in your palm. Okay, our crystals are going to be worth your money. And that's my point. I don't want you wasting your money on a chintzy little crystal that's just not going to be much for you. I handpick all the crystals myself, and they are big, chunky pieces. Like, look at this sodalite one. It's big, okay? Let's see, the red aventurine, really big, okay? Your lapis lazuli, real big, okay? So you're not going to get chintzy little stones from us. You're going to get the big ones. Here's an aquamarine. Look at that big sucker. And we have these. Like, they're big. This is what you're getting. This is what you're buying. Big, big pieces. You're not getting chintzy little ones. Unless, now this is where you can use them, actually. You can use little crystals in a geometric grid, okay? And what's happening is you have something with a point in the middle, okay? And you have all these little stones all around it, and they will get amplified, okay? That's how they really, really work, is in a crystal grid. You want to make sure that you're cleaning your crystals all the time so that you're not intaking any infectious, any bacteria, things like that. So if I have this in water, and what I'm talking about is a crystal elixir, okay? If you put your crystals in water and you wait 15 minutes and you drink the water, you're going to intake all the beneficial aspects of those crystals. However, I will be putting up a list of toxic crystals. You don't want to be taking in certain crystals and them messing up your insides, okay? So let me just start you out. An amethyst is okay, tumbled. You don't want to do raw. This is raw, where it's not smooth. If it's jagged and rough, that's a raw crystal. You don't want to be taking that in, okay? It has to be tumbled like this, okay? So an amethyst tumbled is great for healing, insomnia, anything like that. If you stick an amethyst like this in your pillowcase, you're going to sleep like a baby. I've never had somebody bring the crystal back and say it's not working. Put some crystals in a cup, let it, simmer, as I like to say, for about 15 minutes, and then drink the water. You are golden. Say, for example, you're having a rough day, you don't want to drink coffee, but you just want to have positive attitude, or you just want to feel uplifting and not so sluggish and tired. Anything yellow or orange, like your sunstones, your citrines, your yellow aventurines, maybe a tumbled aquamarine, maybe a green aventurine, an angelite, rose quartz for love, anything that's uplifting, and you're taking that in, you're making yourself better throughout the day. We do have crystal elixirs that have pods to them. So the crystals are in this little pod, and they don't get moved around and bang around, and you're not having to clean them at all, okay? They're just in a little pod, and we sell those on the website. They look like this at my shop, okay? See the little pods? This has rose quartz and amethyst and clear quartz in it. This is called the wellness bottle. And the wellness bottle is amazing. It keeps you healthy, but if you're feeling sick and run down, maybe you have a cold or you're getting allergies real bad, this would be the water bottle that you would get on the website. The fitness one, it's basically a weight loss one. It sells out in my shop. Like, I can't keep the fitness one, and I can't keep the wellness one. Those two sell out like hotcakes. Like, it's gone. It's out of my shop. There's the chakra one that balances out your chakras. And the other popular one is the love one, pulling in love. Like, if you just went through a trauma, maybe you lost a loved one or you had a breakup, the love one is the best one to go with. I wanted to see what would happen if he would have a Tibetan monk do a prayer over it. I think it was a Tibetan monk. Don't quote me on that, but it definitely was somebody that was of prayer and blessing, okay? He blessed the water with a prayer, and the water turned into a snowflake when they put it under the microscope again. So it went from this to this. And I don't have his book on me to show you, but they did a whole bunch of stuff. You can actually get his book, Dr. Emoto, where he talks about all the different things that he did to water. Like, they put water around symphony music, rock and roll music, headbanger music. Like, they did all this stuff, and they would like just put a word like love or angel or Satan on the water just to see what it would do. And each time that they would do this, they would put it under a microscope, and the water would change molecular structure. It would change the structure of the water to like a snowflake. something about crystals that I need to discuss with you that I think that you guys don't, I don't think you guys really understand, okay? You have, maybe you're just dabbling into crystals, you're new to crystals, you don't know how they work, okay? So this is, I'm actually taking a course, and this woman is amazing. She used to be, or she is, a science teacher, and I'm taking her course, and I'm learning a lot because I know all the effects of what crystals do emotionally, physically. I can tell you all that they do for you. Crystals, I wanted to know science. I wanted to know, how do they work? How exactly is all this stuff, like, how do they help you with your headache? Okay, so Hibiscus Moon, she explains it like this. Crystals have a perfect geometric pattern or a blueprint that makes them perfect. And how they're perfect is because they have a dominant oscillatory rate that makes them perfect, okay? That's a range of frequency that they have. And that's what they possess, okay? So they have one dominant oscillatory rate that they vibrate at. However, us, we have tons of different oscillatory rates that are going on with each organ, with all these different frequencies, and this rainbow of vibrations are going on, okay? So what happens is when the crystal comes near us, we are trying to vibrate at that frequency. She uses an example, and I guess she did this in her science classes. She used tuning forks to explain how this works. So if you have two tuning forks and they're 20 feet away, I'm not touching this one over here, okay? And I strike this one real hard. And remember, they're both at the same oscillatory rate. So maybe they're at 288 hertz. That's the high vibration that they possess, okay? So say, for example, I hit this one and I strike it real hard. This one 20 feet away that I haven't touched is going to start to vibrate. And the reason it is, it's trying to get to this vibration or higher. Okay, it's going to try to sound a little higher than this one because it's trying to get to this vibration. That's how crystals work. It's trying to raise our dominant oscillatory rate to theirs. So say, for example, you have an amethyst. It's a strong healing stone. It heals migraines. It helps you sleep. It helps with any kind of addiction that you have. And what happens is you're raising your vibration, or it's in training your cells, because your cells can be programmed. Just like a cell phone, just like a program for an iPad, your cells can be programmable. So you're entraining yourself to be just like the crystal, okay? So the crystal is entraining your cells to vibrate at its vibration, which then happens to make you benefit and help your life better. So if you're having migraines, you might suddenly see you don't anymore. This helps with healing, migraines, all these things. However, every crystal has a different personality. She said that. I was like, you know what? I have a lot of crystals in the shop that have been there for years and don't seem to sell, and they are gorgeous crystals that just don't sell. And I wonder, and when I clean these crystals, I feel different things from them. Like Big Mama, we have a big amethyst in the shop that has been with me since I opened. She hasn't sold. Like, nobody's been interested in her, which is weird because she's like right there in your face. You can't miss her. When I wash her, she has this like mommy effect, like this mama bear about her. And it's amazing the feeling that I get from her, whereas opposed to say I'm cleansing this one, and this one more is like a little kid to me. That's the feeling I get, but it's a girl and she's very stubborn and strong. And every crystal, you know, of the same crystal, like amethysts, they do one certain thing. However, they each have their own personality. These back here have two different personalities to them, and it's amazing to feel that. A lot of the crystals that you guys are being drawn to is a reason for it. Either that crystal really likes your energy and wants to be around you and wants to vibrate at your energy, and vice versa. Or you're being drawn to it because you feel like it can help you, or your guides are saying to you, this crystal can really help you. So don't take for granted when a crystal jumps out at you. Understand why it's jumping out at you. Maybe it really likes you, or maybe it's there to help you, okay? If you lose a crystal, don't take it personally. It just means that crystal thinks that it did all it could for you, and it left ship to help somebody else. If a crystal breaks on you, like shatters in pieces, it means that this crystal says, you know what, I've been around you long enough, and I've been feeling all the energies around you, and I feel that I could help your mom and your sister and your daughter and your son. So it breaks up into these pieces because it feels like it can help other people in your family. So again, don't take it personally. It's just saying to you, can you share me? My investigation team had this new infrared camera that they had just got. They were testing it out in my shop, and I have this big basket of crystals, or a big it's like a trough of crystals for kids that come in. We give them free crystals and they can take them home. It's cute to see them all lit up like, oh, I can have a crystal. So we have this big trough and it's free for them to take as many as they want. And well, they were doing the infrared camera. They turned out all the lights and they wanted to see how it would work in the shop, and they went over the trough and we saw like a disco of lights, and we were like, whoa, 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 go back, go back. And they went back, and the crystals lit up like Christmas lights on this infrared camera. Now remember, it's a heat signature infrared camera. It picks up heat signature. So all those little crystals would have had to have some kind of life in them to light up like that, okay? So that right there is scientific proof. And this was also in her teaching that she taught about, and I started kind of looking them up, because, oh, it's the Curie brothers, okay? One of them, well, both of them, back in the 19th century, they made this huge discovery on a quartz crystal. They wanted to see what it would do if they would wrap it with wire that was hooked up to, let me see, it was hooked up to a recording meter, and then they hit it real hard with a hammer. And when the hammer hit hard, while it was wired, let's see what she says here, it produced an electrical signal. So she had described that, you know, they had it hooked up to this meter, and when they hit it, it actually pushed out an actual signal, like it was alive and it felt it. I need information when it comes to crystals. I need to know that there's something backing them up with how they help. I know that they help because I see it in my life, I've seen it in other people's lives, but I also like the background as to how they're working, what makes them tick, okay? In this class that she teaches, you know, touches on all this. Sacred space is my office, okay? My office, and it has all this stuff here, things that I love, crystals that I'm surrounding myself with. Anything in this area is going to be amplified because I'm pulling all these things in, and it's amplifying the energy in here. The crystal water bottle that I talk about, or the crystal elixir that I, you know, just touched on how to make on your own, if you set it in your sacred space, which may be your altar, okay? And an altar isn't bad. A lot of people go right to Wiccan or witch, but an altar honestly is just things that you really love and are drawn to, and you're pushing all that energy into that one little area, and anything in that little area is going to get amplified because you have crystals there, and maybe you have some like loving candles or statues, or maybe there's a picture of your mom that you really love, okay? Maybe there's a poem or inspirational saying, and it's framed and it's right there on your altar or your table to remind you every morning that you're an amazing person, or you have all these amazing qualities, okay? And to not forget that, okay? So this is like your inspirational saying. Everything in that little area is going to get amplified. So if I put my water with my crystal elixirs in that area, the water itself is going to get amplified itself. Have you ever had an animal that acted stupid and one that acted human? And this goes all the way back to the gay issue as well. Nobody should be judging anyone that's gay. And I'm going to tell you how this all works. There is no gender in heaven. There is no religion. There's no desk that says, hey, Catholic, this way. Okay? There's no politics. I was told that that was a human-based segregation to segregate and separate like-minded beings. And if you go to a different realm, they don't have that. This is the only place that has the amnesia effect, where you don't remember where you came from. Because I'm telling you, if you remembered who you were in heaven, you would not let anything hold you back. Not fear, not people, nothing. You would remember that you came here for a specific reason, and you needed to get it done, and you would do everything you possibly could to live your life happy, choose the best decisions for yourself and the people around you, and you're living life, okay? You're understanding why you were here and what you were meant to do and what you're meant to learn. In heaven, there's no procreation, okay? In these other realms, there's no politics, there's no religion. Everybody can hear everyone else, okay? because we don't talk with this in heaven, we talk with this. Okay? Everybody knows what everybody's thinking, what everybody's feeling, so there's no reason to segregate or separate with politics or a religion. Okay? So, if there's no procreation in heaven, then that means that there's no gender, because gender makes you have procreation. Now, however, God's protective side is his manly or masculine energy. His creative side would be like more female energy. Okay, so you might have souls in heaven that are pushing out maybe a more masculine energy as opposed to a female energy. Okay, so then you have somebody that's female in heaven, like they're pushing, not so much female, but they're pushing out an energy that's more feminine. Okay, and they come here on earth and they decided to be a male, but that feminine essence that they were so drawn to in heaven is pushing through still. It's the same thing with animals. The one that acts human has always been somewhat of a human, and the one that acts stupid has always been an animal. How you want to learn is how you're going to learn. And when you're talking to a plant, you're just simply talking to a soul. When you're holding a crystal, you're holding a soul. When you're loving an animal, you're loving a soul. People ask me, like, do your animals go to heaven? They do. We are them, they are us kind of motto. When I do a reading on an animal that's passed, I eventually, within a couple minutes of that reading, will end up seeing their human form of maybe something that they were here. You know the whole Star Trek buzzing around? So you ever see those Star Wars, Star Trek? They're going from planet to planet, buying stuff, getting accommodations, helping these people. They're meeting all these people, and there's all this activity going on over here. They literally have Earth over here, and they're off over here doing all this stuff. They want nothing to do with Earth. We're throwing off bombs, we're hurting people, we're hurting each other, we're hurting our own race. Humans are hurting each other. There's animosity, there's anger, there's unforgiveness, there's hatred. They want nothing to do with us. Okay, they're off doing their teleporting and all this stuff over here. That Star Trek is legit on point. They are doing all that stuff over there, and they have us over here in the corner in a timeout. You do not get judgment from me. Anybody that comes into my shop or comes to me for a reading, trust me, I probably know you more and understand you more than you probably have ever had anybody in your life do that to you. Let me give you an example. A student of mine named Zoe, okay, her mom Kathy, amazing family. I love this family. She came into my shop like this. She was hiding, very afraid of her gifts, very afraid of who she was, didn't want people judging her. When I sat down with her, I told her everything I knew about her. And you know what I saw? She was coming out at me, showing me who she was, because she knew that I knew her, okay? And I wasn't judging her, because most people most likely did judge her. And that's not what I'm here to do. I probably know you more than you know yourself. I will know everything about your past lives. I will know everything in your life that's going on. And it's not there to judge you, it's there to help you, okay? Because there's a reason why you're doing things the way you are. Mountains, beach, anything with like woods or forest, they are very high vibrational areas. That's why you feel so great when you're there. So if you really need a pick-me-up for your soul, I would go to any one of those places, anything that has a high vibrational feeling to it. Sedona is a very crystallized, high vibrational area. It actually is a sacred space. It is considered like an actual sacred space, like your own sacred space in your area. So I don't really have an altar, okay? But I do have my sacred space is my little cove in my office here. I have crystals, anything. This area right here is amplified. When I sit down, I can feel how amplified it is, based off of it being so sacred space for me. Egyptian pyramids, Giza, those are high vibrational sacred space areas, okay? And there's been crystals that are put into the earth to push that energy out. The pyramids at one point were some kind of electrical component to help certain spatial energies find that area, and those crystals were to pull that energy into that area. When the atomic bomb was placed on Earth out of divine timing, it was not meant to be used against humanity. It was supposed to be used for humanity. It was a specific energy used for humanity, and it was supposed to be like farther ahead, and somehow some kind of energy obtained it and started using it against humanity. So this beacon went off. What are they doing? They are killing themselves, and they're going to ruin Earth. We need to get over there to help them. So this beacon went out for volunteers with no karma attached. First wave set the groundwork. Non-karmatic souls never left God, never left heaven. It's like throwing somebody into a surgery and handing them tools and going, okay, there you go. No surgical background, no doctor, PH background of educational learning. And then right around the 60s, you see this peace. Oh, those were the first waivers because they didn't have karma attached to them. All they knew was heaven and God and love, peace, and let's smoke his plants that he gave us for healing, because it is a healing plant, or he wouldn't have put it here. However, you shouldn't be abusing it. That's the only part. Okay, you can use it. He just doesn't want you abusing it. Right around the 70s, you see this high rate of suicides. People just cutting loose, and those were the first waivers because they really did not know what they got themselves into. So they were just leaving left and right. So second wave, galactic in some way. So they have that, I don't feel like I belong here. I wish I could go home. So they keep looking to the sky. They feel out of place. They don't feel like they fit in, like the black sheep. Second wave tends to not want to get married. They tend to not want to have kids. If they do have a kid, it means that they were to bring in the third waivers. The third wave is the kids playing Chaplin. The kids that are getting misdiagnosed with ADHD, getting misdiagnosed with ADD, getting misdiagnosed with OCD. These kids are very high vibrational. They have 3 to 4 new DNA strands. And they have this huge vibration popping out. That's why they're so excitable and hyper and running around. But what they're doing, this is a good thing though, that they're like this. What they're doing is they're pushing out that energy to push us into the 5th dimension, this new loving, positive vibration where the amnesia and the veil to this world is going to lift. And it already is lifting, because we are finding alien skeletons. We are finding Bigfoot, because he is real. We're finding mermaids. We are finding alien ships suddenly in our sky, even though they have always been there. They just were masked by this amnesia or the veil so that we couldn't see them. So your third waivers are these amazing kids that are coming out of nowhere, and they're trying to show us there's more. There's so much more. There's more to this life. There's all these different things you could be exploring, and you grown-ups hold yourself back, and we're just having fun. We're throwing out our energy, and we're just bubbly and having fun, and we're bouncy and we're crazy. But they're supposed to be that way. They're not supposed to be medicated. You're supposed to, when they're hyper, you're supposed to pull in God's medicine, God's prescription that he put in the rocks, like fluorite. Fluorite helps with focus, and you have rose quartz for self-confidence and love for them if they're feeling down or they're getting bullied. Lots of angelite to help surround them with angels and protection. A blue halite for calming. If that energy is too much for them, even bringing them down, putting them in sea salt water, grounding them with stones like with tiger eye and black tourmaline. If they're doing a lot of computer work, putting a black tourmaline right near the keyboard is going to kind of keep that electromagnetic crap away from them, because they're like little sponges. They're going to absorb energy faster than you will. I do have a third wave child that I pulled in, Eden. I wouldn't medicate these kids. Find alternative medicines, find herbs, find oils, find the right food to put in their system, because certain foods that are here on Earth are not good for them to eat, and it's going to make them more hyper than they should be, because there's a certain energy they're supposed to be pushing out, and if you excel that energy, it's going to be real bad for them. If you pulled in a third wave, man, I give you props, because it is tough. It was very tough with my daughter Eden, and we are all warriors to be pulling on a third wave child. Like, I get people coming to me going, well, I think I just want to know what my mission is. Am I doing the right things? You're making decisions every day. That's your soul contract. You're on your mission. You're doing what you think is right. You aren't happy with something, change it. Just change it. You have the power. You're the only one holding yourself back. If you are with somebody and they're horrible to you, you're the only one staying there until you remove yourself and you get this, like, I feel so much better. That was you removing it. You changed it. You're the one that has to change it. And you're on your missions. If you're here and you're doing your soul contract, you're doing your mission. If you don't like something about your mission, it's simply changing it. God is of simplicity. He's not going to try to confuse you. That's dark, kind of putting fear into you. And when fear gets put into you, it's controlling you. So you're a lighted being of God. Do you really think you should be controlled by something you can't see? Same thing with the Reiki 1 class on Facebook. It's going to be taught live like this, and your attunement will work like this, okay? It's just like doing a distant healing. I can do a distant attunement as well. Reiki is of positive, loving healing. It's not going to make you feel negative. And the cool part of Reiki is if you have an injury, or you have something going on with yourself, while you're doing healing, that healing's actually hitting back onto you like a receptor, like a mirroring receptor. And what I found through doing healing, years and years of healing, is I haven't gotten sick in probably 4 years. Like, I might get like a minor little bug and then it's gone, but it's like I don't get sick, like where I'm down for weeks with a cold or flu. I actually can't remember the last time I had a flu. It's been great. If you guys need anything, please don't hesitate asking my team, getting on the Divine Medium page and messaging. You will get automated responses, but my team is really on it. They will answer you back. Everything you need is on the website. You guys will have a field day on the website. Check the website out, navigate it. If you're being pulled to do a session, research it with your guides. Read testimonials. If there's a testimonial on my website and there's somebody's name and their face from their Facebook profile, you can contact them. Don't be afraid to contact them. They will tell you how their reading was, okay? We ask permission to put their testimonial up on the website, so it's okay to ask them how it went on Facebook, okay? I tell people to do this. So, research before you do the session. Make sure it's right for you before you come and do it. Okay, I love you guys.